This right now is just interesting that you guys are 65 years married. I mean, good heavens, there are very few. And but you must, like I said, you must have been a child when you came here. When you came to Mexico, where did you come to?
Colonia, Seattle.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's where the seminary is.
That's right. I forgot about that.
You taught there.
So you taught at the seminary. Okay. And well, how many years have you been a priest then? You've been a priest almost longer than you've been married, right?
1945.
1945. That's a long time, too. That's amazing. And so you came to Mexico, and what did you think of Mexico? Had you been here before?
No.
No.
Surprise!
And I was the first one in my family not to study Spanish because I was not going to spend all that time learning a language I'd never used.
I have a story similar to that.
It happens.
Well, the football players learned Spanish. You know, the kids that were going on to college took Latin and French and so forth. Yeah. And guess where I ended up? So you didn't speak Spanish when you got here?
No.
You had a pretty good interpreter, though.
But the people in the church took me over. And they nurtured me. They were my parents, they were my family, because it was all Mexican. All of our work at that time was Mexican.
That's amazing when you think about it, isn't it? And there you were.
Yeah.
How is it to be the wife of a priest in a congregation? These are over here.
Busy.
Busy.
Because we had children.
And you had how many children?
5.
5 children. Girls and boys, or all girls?
2 girls and 3 boys.
So, I have a question for you. Why did you choose a woman from as far away as Virginia when you had a whole country of beautiful Mexican women?
Well, the thing is, as I said, somebody said that I found my costilla there.
Okay. So,
Missing rib.
what did you promise her? Nothing. To get her to come this far. I mean, and especially back in 1946, this was a long way away. So, I'm still complaining that it's too far away. So you, when did you first have a congregation? You said you taught at the seminary in Seattle.
Yeah, I did.
He also had the congregation at the same time.
Where?
Yes, I'm a
Oh, okay. Okay. So, how big was the congregation?
Well, it was kind of a split town. Half of them were Episcopalians and half of them were Roman Catholic. So
In the same congregation?
it was the same.
It was a large congregation.
And it was mostly Mexican or all Mexican? Or?
All Mexican.
Don't you think it's kind of interesting that they were Roman Catholic and Episcopalian in the same congregation?
Well, no. The liturgy, the liturgy is almost like it.
Yeah, but there are differences.
Oh, there are
One
differences.
obvious one.
Yeah.
So, now here you were with this new bride in Mexico, and gave you something extra to deal with, or was she just easy to deal with from the beginning?
It was not very easy.
Very good.
Our ups and downs together.
You've had ups and downs?
Oh, yeah. Like everybody else.
Everybody has. So it hasn't been a perfect 65 years without strife, without...
It's been very wonderful. Yeah, 65 years. Wonderful.
Has she been really supportive
Well,
of your work?
She's very, very supportive of my ministry.
So...
At that time.
Have you enjoyed actually being the wife of the priest? I mean, the wife of the priest is always held up as having to be a paragon of perfection all the time.
I've always considered myself just another member of the church.
You didn't take a particular position as the wife of the priest. No?
I'll tell you one thing that I've always, people said, well, how did you manage? And I said that God gives us the gifts we need when we need them. And He gave me the gift of adaptability. So I've been very comfortable no matter whether I've been, where I've been, whether we've lived. I said our ministry, our life together has taken me from living on dirt floors to tea at Buckingham Palace.
Wow.
So it's,
Wow. Wow. So was most of your ministry in central Mexico, in this area?
Western Mexico.
In western Mexico? In this area. What places have you ministered? Just a minute.
Just a second.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Damn trucks. Okay. San Sebastian. Which San Sebastian?
San Sebastian and Grande.
And where?
El Grande.
El Grande. Okay.
Near to Roquilla.
And where?
Near to Roquilla.
Okay.
All up and down the Pacific coast.
All up and down the East Coast. The East Coast.
The Western coast.
The West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast.
The West Coast. So, and, when did you become a bishop?
1964. Yeah, I was a supplicant first.
You were what?
A supplicant to my brother.
And
Then there was an election, and I got elected.
okay. Who gets to vote in an election like that?
Well, there is a system what they call in the Anglican communion. There is a system of voting. It's not
Is it congregation members who vote, or is it other priests who vote?
It's actually called, it's a convention.
Convention.
a convention. Everybody comes together and expresses their opinion.
So, and you've been retired for a while. A little while, sort of. So when did you actually, did you ever officially retire, or are you still doing stuff?
Well,
Yes to both.
every now and then I come incidentally, but not very often.
Yeah, when did you retire?
83.
83. Well, you've sure been busy since 83, because I run into you everywhere. So.
But I think it's interesting, Jeannie, that during the time he was bishop of this area, he was also asked to serve by the presiding bishop of the church in the United States. He was interim bishop of Cuba in the 1966. And
In the 1990s?
1966.
Oh, 1966.
Yeah.
Revolution.
Right.
And
Because
then he
Mexico
was
never broke
interim
ties.
bishop in Guatemala and Honduras.
Did you go to Cuba?
No.
No.
I-
He went to Cuba, but you
it
didn't
was,
go.
it was hard enough for him to get in.
Okay. Okay. What about Guatemala?
Well, the bishop there was kicked out because of expressing leftist views.
Something
So-
political.
Something political.
Yeah.
He's kicked out,
So
so
he was called to take over that.
So it's like ice and blacking.
oh, okay. So did you? Yeah, then you had to go there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he commuted.
You commuted?
He commuted from Guadalajara to Cuba, Guadalajara to Guatemala and Honduras.
And you stayed put.
Yeah.
And then there was
Then Ecuador.
What? So, but you didn't go to live in those other countries. You spent most of your, well, almost all of your married life in Mexico. Is that right?
Yeah. Taking care of children.
Well, yeah. And you said you have 5,
right.
and did you raise them all in Mexico?
Well,
You didn't? Did you send them other places to go to school, or were they all educated here?
we spent a few years doing Mexican work in San Antonio, Texas.
Mexican work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for about 10 years.
And
What's
about-
Mexican work?
Well, in
On the Bishop Jones.
working in a barrio in San Antonio.
There was a Mexican congregation or a Mexican group of people.
Yeah. So
So then,
that's where she was born.
okay. So one of your daughters, one of your kids at least, was born. Oh, 2 of you were born in San Antonio, Texas. Are you the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
You're the baby.
I am.
You're the baby. Okay. Now you told me that your daughter is and I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Susan.
What?
Susan?
Susan. Susan is a priest as well. Are you an Anglican priest or an Episcopal priest?
Well, actually both.
Okay.
Hey, because the Episcopal Church is part of the Anglican community.
And where are you?
In New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we're all over.
Are any of your other kids in the clergy?
No.
No. What do the others do?
The eldest works for the National Education Association in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And the next one is with
She's a vice president of United Way.
Seattle.
Is a what?
A vice president in United Way in Seattle.
In Seattle.
The third one died 12 years ago.
Oh.
Last one.
The fourth one lives in Guadalajara.
And is it a she or a he?
He
What
works,
does he do?
works for a furniture company.
Export.
And then we have Susan. We have Susan.
And she's what we call late vocation. She went to seminary after. How old were you when you went to seminary?
99, so I guess it was 36. Something like that. If I can do the math.
Close enough.
Something like
She
that.
worked for a newspaper also.
Yeah, okay. That's why I'm sitting here going.
The New Jersey Tribune.
Okay, now we're going to come down to a mundane question, the one you've been expecting. And I'm going to ask each of you, what's the best part of being married for so long? What's the best part?
Hard question to answer.
What is the best part of being married for so many years?
The I guess the best part is understanding I was and what I was not. So,
These are things you learn from your marriage.
very interesting thing.
That is very interesting. What about you? What's the best part of having been married 65 years? Besides improving your endurance, but, you know.
Well, just being comfortable with the same person that long. It's just almost like you've been married yesterday, and then you realize, my gosh, this many
You
years.
really feel like it was just yesterday? That's amazing. I've never heard anybody say that before. What is the secret to staying married this long? Just not to walk away? Or
Well, as Father Winston had a prayer for us last Sunday, and he said that God was the third person in this marriage.
And so you think it's your faith that has kept you together?
Oh, yeah.
Were you, before you met him, were you, first of all, were you an Anglican or an Episcopalian?
No.
No, what were you?
Methodist.
Well, that's not too far off.
But a very, very active person.
Okay, so you were active in the church. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I
So,
said I came to Mexico with two loves. One for our Lord and one for him.
and that's all you needed.
Yeah.
I assume you
Really?
learned to love Mexico too.
You're like people that say, how long have you been here? And I'll say, well, 60-some years. They'll say, well, do you like it?
Oh, I know. Isn't that dumb? Yeah, I know. I've been here 30 years, and they say, oh, do you like it? If I didn't, I sure as hell wouldn't be here working for peanuts, I'll tell you that. So, what do you think is the secret for people, how to stay together? Because it's tough. It's tough to stay together. Because there are, like you said before, there are ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
Have you ever been angry? Have you ever been angry in your marriage?
Once in a while.
And so, but that's not a reason to back out of it.
No. That's not a reason at all.
So you think sticking it out turns out to be the best? But you both think so. You're not going, oh God, I should have left him back in, why didn't I leave him at the train station in 46?
I've spent a lot of time alone
Because it's travel.
because it's travel.
He's traveled so much.
In Mexico and in other places.
Have you learned to enjoy being alone? Obviously, being together would be more fun. I think.
I've been busy.
What do you do when you say you're busy? What do you do with your time?
You know, down here, just everyday life keeps you busy.
Yeah, I've noticed. I'm trying to get my car registered, okay? And I didn't have the right document with me yesterday.
And you have to know something about the workings of the Episcopal Church. We were part of the Episcopal Church in the United States until 1995. And in 1973, the convention of the Church in the United States finally seated women in their convention. It was the old boys thing. We needed somebody to represent a layperson, to represent the Diocese of Western Mexico.
So you were it?
And he begged me, he said, just go once, or I got hooked. So I went to 8 consecutive general conventions. And I was on a lot of primary committees, so then I sort of woke up and realized I had an opinion that people respected.
That's fantastic.
And I was a female, a bilingual female.
Go ahead. Just a minute. He's He's got to use his Jake brakes. Okay.
I said I was a bilingual female at the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Did you become bilingual right away? No.
You have to say tell them what your father
My
said.
arm's getting tired.
Yeah.
Oops,
What you
excuse
said
me.
about learning Spanish.
About learning Spanish.
You wrote him a letter saying that you were learning Spanish.
I remember, all I remember my father saying my mother was coming down to visit. And he said he wasn't concerned that she didn't speak Spanish because she was still not fluent in English. I didn't speak English though. She had such a southern accent you could cut it with a fork.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Do you speak Spanish with a southern accent?
I don't know.
No.
I have a friend who does. In fact, he was.
That's okay. I don't think I would have made it.
My friend Richard was a lone senior in the Roman
Right.
tradition, and he isn't anymore. He decided he liked business better
There you go.
than he liked the Vatican. Anyhow, this was a long time ago, and he's retired from everything now. And he speaks Spanish very well. I mean, grammatically, it's wonderful, but he's never lost his Houston accent. And when he speaks Spanish, it's hysterical. And people understand him, but it is so southern. And it just, he sounds more southern when he speaks Spanish than he does when he speaks
Oh,
English.
that's funny.
It really is funny. And he spent a lot of time in Latin America, so
That's very funny.
My Spanish was better before we moved down here.
Because you're speaking too much English.
Everybody speaks
Oh,
English down
yeah, I know, it's a problem.
here. Yeah.
I know. When we lived in Guadalajara, I spoke Spanish most of the time. No choice.
Right. Right.
You know, I taught at the American school, so I spoke English all the time when I worked, but the rest of the time I didn't. But now it's, in fact, it's very difficult. The Mexican people here don't even want to speak Spanish to you
Right. Right.
because they want to practice their English. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna cut it off there. I think it's nice what we've done. Aren't as many as there used to be by a long shot. And
But Ajijic loves their dogs.
huh?
Ajijic loves their dogs.
Yes.
There are dogs everywhere.
But one of the problems we do have though, is that foreigners